Hello and welcome. Today we are doing our Friday share and I'm going to be doing a scrapbook page. So during Create Crop at Home, I was not able to finish one of my scrapbook pages. And so I have everything already cut out here and ready to go with the embellishments and everything. And I'm going to do two ways to make this project. So the first one uses the scraps, and then the second way uses other things. So I'm going to show you both ways on today, and I think that I'm finally going to finish my scrapbook page from Create Crop at Home. So I was just thinking that this would be good because we can now get inspired to do the crop at home. This is the only die we are pretty much going to use to make the background of our card. It is a 12-inch border frame die, and what we did was cut out a piece of paper that was a certain width. I can't remember what that was, but you want to get both of these cuts from off of your die. And once you see, when you put the die or put them together, they form a strip of paper. And so you take your frame from your border and you're going to cut it out, and you're going to get these two pieces, and you're going to keep both of them. You're going to cut that out of different color cardstocks, different patterns, so that you can get the effect that you want on your scrapbook page. And so I have it cut out of 3 different colors and patterns, and none of the gold. So just 3 different colors and patterns. Now, we do the same thing with the actual die, that you take a strip of paper, 12-inch strip of paper, a certain width, and you're going to cut the die out. And then you're going to keep both pieces. You're going to keep the die cut piece that comes out of it, the really pretty pattern, and you're going to keep the waist, which looks weird, but you're going to keep it. And you're going to use it on your card. So it's a good way to not throw away, the scraps. And so there's 2 different versions of the card. And the first one that we're going to do after I clean up all of this mess here and get it all organized, because it's the pieces get all stuck to each other, is going to be the one with the full-size die cuts. And the reason why I never ended up making this project at the Create Crop at Home was because I never understood what we were actually doing, because there were 2 versions. And so I finally went back and looked at it, because Crop at Home's coming up, and I was like, there was one project I never even made. And so I'm like, I'll go back and take a look and see what actually stopped me from making this. And I finally figured it out. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't figure out which project was being made, the one with the scraps or the one without the scraps. But the good thing about Crop at Home was they do send you the directions after it's over. So I also had a PDF that I could go back and look at and read the directions after that. So as you can see, I put down this scrap blue on one side, and now I'm putting the scrap pink down over the top of it, kind of nesting it inside of its own scrap that would have been pink but is instead blue. And everything we're doing it on both sides. So then you lay down a gold, matte foil gold over the top of the pink, and it looks gorgeous already, right? And then this is, it's hard to tell, but it's because it's the same pattern as the cardstock, but it's another one of those background die cuts layered over the top of that really super pretty gold foil. And now we're going to take the gold again, and we're going to kind of start a new pattern. So we're going to leave a little bit more space in between, almost like it looks like the paper underneath. But you use this so that you don't see the border on the back of the gold, the pretty gold die cut. And so it kind of mimics the paper, and so it looks really pretty. It's kind of like an optical illusion, like it's just like the paper. And you're going to want to make sure you leave a good border in the center, so don't leave too much space, but make sure that we're leaving a border in the middle so that these aren't going to all look like they're just flowing together. But put the blue shadow layer now over the top of the gold, pretty gold die cut. And so I'm moving these over just to make sure I have my center space and that I'm not losing that space. And now I'm putting a pink die cut over the top. And the fact that you're using pattern paper really gives this a lot of texture and dimension, because the paper makes it look so textured, but it's also a very intricate die cut, which also gives it a ton of texture. And so that's the first one. And so you would glue all that down and go for it. Now we're going to do the second one. And this is the one that I'm actually going to glue down and put together. I chose to use this way of making my scrapbook page just on the simple fact that using scraps was like, wow, like just different concept and idea. And I was like, I just want to do it. So I don't think it's better or more beautiful or anything like that. Both ways work great. And you already have all the cutouts anyway, so it honestly doesn't matter. You could literally make 2 scrapbook pages because you can use the scraps and you can use the other one. So honestly, I could have just left that one, made a scrapbook page, grabbed another piece of paper, and made this one without having to cut out anything else except for maybe another frame for my photo and stuff like that. So either way, it doesn't matter. So I'm not saying that this was the better way. It was just the more unique way for me. I was like, oh wow, making stuff out of your scraps, which I've always been interested in, because as crafters, you get a lot of scraps and then you throw them away and stuff like that. And I'm like, I would like to use up more of my scraps. So using the scraps from onto the scrapbook page really inspired me and helped me. And so, yeah, that's why I'm doing it this way. It's not because it's better or anything like that or more pretty, but I think you'll see they almost are identical. Yeah. So right now I'm just adding on double-sided adhesive onto there. I was like, why am I using a whole strip of double-sided adhesive? I could use little strips instead. But I was like, we're hoarders. Just stop hoarding your tape and just use it. You'll get some more later. It's fine. So I put down the whole strip, and I do want it to stay together. I turned it over because I thought I was going to put some glue or some adhesive on it right now, but I'm not. I'm going to wait till I have the whole piece put together, all 3 layers, and then I'm going to add the adhesive on the backs. It's because I really need to make sure it's straight on the sides when I put it down. So just pull off your adhesive and take your layer and line it up with the pattern on the gold layer, and then stick it down, and just do that on both sides. So if you've never been to one of the Create Crop at Homes or one of the Create events, I will just tell you now, it is pretty hard to keep up in the moment with what's going on and get your project done at the same time as Anna Griffin gets hers done. Now, it's not impossible, but it's challenging. You will be exhausted at the end. So I think a lot of people, they have this expectation that they're going to be working along and have everything done by the end. And a lot of times, I'd say 90% of the time, that is just not the way it goes. So if you're planning on doing the crop at home, definitely do it. It's so much fun. You will absolutely love it. You will be moving really quickly and doing a lot at each session. But if you're okay with that, then that's fine. But there's always the option of going back and watching it again. Like, just in order to put this one together, what has it been, like 2 years? A year and a half? I don't know. It's been a while since I did this crop, and I guess it's been like a year and a half. And it's still available for me to watch, and also still available for me to get the PDFs. I downloaded them, but they send them to you in an email, so you have them available. And so, you don't finish it, you didn't get it done. A year and a half later, you get an aha moment and say, you know what, I want to make that scrapbook page like I did. And then you can go back and do it. And so I'd say it's super fun. And you get to watch and do, or you can craft along. I crafted along. That's how I got everything all cut out. But I got a little confused at what I was doing, so I kind of just stopped and watched at that moment. But the next scrapbook page, I was all in and I was putting it together. So I got all my scrapbook pages almost all done, or at least mostly done during the crop. But I did have to go back and watch some of the ends and put the finishing touches or put on the embellishments and things like that. And a lot of my scrapbook pages are not completely stuck down because I didn't know who I wanted to give them to, or if I even wanted to keep the different embellishments that were on there. And so that's also an option. And then there's lots of breaks. There are lots of breaks. There's hour-long breaks. There's breaks where she's someone who is a crafter just like you and I will come on and just say why they love Anna Griffin and how long they've been crafting with her and things like that, which give you time to get things done. And so, yeah, it was really nice and really fun. And you can see, even before I'm even finished with this, that it's going to make a really pretty scrapbook page. I have a video with a reveal of my whole album. Like, literally a whole album was made with different themes. There were 3 different themes. And, so you're not just making all the same color scheme or anything like that. And they come out really, really pretty. So if you want to see my video on my scrapbook pages that I made during the crop at home, you can always go and search that and find it. And you'll also see the page that goes along with this one, because when we make them, we make a title page and then we make a spread. So you'll have the title page, which is introducing everything, and then the spread is the 2-page layout when you open it up. And yeah, so right now I'm just taking my glue and gluing down my panels that we just created with our scraps. I think a lot of times when we're making cards, we're using a lot of foam pads and propping them up. And then we've even seen a lot of scrapbook pages these days that have a lot of dimension to them. Well, I wanted to make sure that mine fit inside of a scrapbook, so that's why I'm using glue and gluing everything down. And Anna Griffin also did the same thing at the crop at home, but she also gave examples of how you can make them more dimensional. And then you can give them in a shadow box or put them on the wall as artwork or things like that. And so you can go ahead and add dimensional tape, foam pads to this project if you would like. But for this particular one that I'm doing, it's going to all go down mostly with glue. I will put the photo frames on with foam pads, because you want to give that wow factor to the picture. Let's go ahead and speed through the rest of the assembly of the background portion of this scrapbook page, because it really is just gluing down the pattern. So you'll have your gold, your blue, and your pink, and then you're gonna just do that to both sides. Now if you look at mine, it didn't cut properly at the top of the gold strip that's on the, let's see, what side? The right side, the way I'm looking. And don't worry about that. The die was shifting a lot, and I think it's just because it was so long. All of the dies didn't do that, but this particular one shifted a ton, which is why a lot of the cuts aren't completely straight. And then this one just shifted right off of the paper. So, but I'm not worried about it, and it's going to be okay, and it's going to get covered up. So if you have this die set and yours shifts around, just know that happened to a lot of us. It even happened to Anna Griffin. So while she was using this die, it kept moving in the machine, and you would just see it moving, and you'd be like, no, stop, please stop moving. And you couldn't stop it, just had to go with it. And you could just see how pretty this is and how it's coming together really, really nicely. And we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and once this is glued down, we will go on and put down our photo mats. Now that we've put down everything, we want to add our mats and layers. So there were a ton of dies, layering dies, to create mats and layers. You can just use regular dies. It doesn't have to be the ones that came in the Create. If you have just a set of Anna Griffin dies that you think would make a good frame, just use those and then place them down. And I foam padded up all of these layers. And on that gold one is going to be the size you'll cut your photo to be. I think that if you have a bigger photo, then, when you're in your dies, find something that'll fit a bigger photo. And yes, that is off-centered. A lot of this stuff is probably crooked. I'm not worried about it. Just gonna go with it. I'm not a scrapbooker, but this was fun. And then we have these dies that cut out these journaling tags frames, and then the inside of the tag cuts out, and then you turn it over and use the backside of it to write whatever you want to. And this says, a moment happens in a flash, but the memory lasts a lifetime. And that's going to be the tag I'm going to put on top. I cannot find any of my stuff from that was supposed to, like the title tags that were supposed to go on there. So I just found something else. So this was not from the Crop at Home event, but yeah. And then I somehow also misplaced the flowers that were supposed to go on. Well, the leaves. It was like supposed to be these leaves and flowers that were supposed to go on this page. So I just found some other options to use. The flowers are the same, but the leaves are not. So if they don't pop like you think an Anna Griffin background should, it's not her fault, it's mine. I just went with what I had available. I'm just gonna put a leaf and a flower together and prop them up. And on this, I'm just gonna make sure that all the leaves are going in different directions just to give it some interest so they don't all look the same. And once all of these embellishments are on our card, that is the end of our scrapbook page and the end of our Friday share. So hopefully you're enjoying the Friday share. I did not get one up last Friday. Whoopsie, sorry. But I decided to make sure I got one this time, and I'm gonna try and get better and better, and hopefully you're enjoying them. And if you are, push the like button, subscribe, share these videos with a crafty friend, and enjoy the rest of your week until the next time. And so just look at the beautiful design that was created and go make one yourself. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.